What's up, Irish Nation? Steve Leslie, YSNLive.com, Ursuline High School player profile, sponsored by the Golden Dawn. At the Golden Dawn, we'll be here every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 o'clock. Cannot thank Johnny Naples for all he does, not only for Ursuline High School, but this football team, and now to be a part of YSN. We cannot thank him enough. Irish fans, come on over to the Dawn on Tuesday night. Check out some player profiles. Coach Reardon will be in. The Golden Dawn will have every game if you cannot make it. When it gets colder later on in the year, come on over to the Golden Dawn and watch the Irish here at the Golden Dawn all season long. Joined by Anthony Romo, senior player profile, Marc Manning. Marc, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Anth, go ahead. You're up. First one.
So I got to start going back to last week. Farrell game, big crowd on hand, standing room only, 40-38 victory. Just as a player in your senior year, how did it feel to play in a game that was back and forth like that?
Those games are really fun, especially with the crowd and all the music and the stands and it's everything surrounding the field. It's just a really fun environment.
And then I also got to say, with the crowd being as big as it was, Steve and I were unable to be there because we both work for YSU football. To have the Ursuline support system that came to that game, because I saw there were about as many Ursuline people as there were Farrell there. How did that make you feel going out on the field, seeing everyone done in the green and gold in the crowd, knowing that they had your back?
It's great knowing that we have the support that can travel with us anywhere we go.
And they travel. There's no doubt about that. Let's start. Marc Manning, wide receiver, DB. You've started from the day you walked into Ursuline High School. You had a great career. Tell Ursuline Nation a little bit about Marc Manning and talk about your family a little bit.
So I live with my two sisters and my mom. I'm the middle child. I don't know.
How special is having mom and your sisters? Your mom's in athletics. She does a great job with what she does. And then to have that family there on Friday night, how special is that for you?
It's amazing. I mean, they're always at the games, and I know they've got my back.
Do you know that? That's what I was going to ask. Do you feel it?
I don't feel it, but I can see. I look up and see them sometimes.
Okay, that's all you have to do.
There.
All right, so shout out to Mom. She's here for all you do for your family and all you do in your coaching career. You do a great job with that. I'm going to take you back. We lose a game in a state championship. I called that game. Just going off of the sick feeling that I had in my own gut. You get a chance to soak it in. Coach Reardon talks to you. Seniors are crying. You get on the bus now and you go home and you're a senior. Take me where you're at when you get on that bus realizing it's my senior year starting right now.
To be honest, I can't really picture it now. There was no words on that bus. It was like you put a pin drop in. And you weren't really thinking of the next year. You were thinking how much time I have left with the guys now.
Absolutely. That's a great answer.
Those are great guys, and you never want to see those guys go.
And that's a great answer.
Yeah, I mean, that is. And then just going back to that playoff run last year, so many heroic games. It just seems like the Ursuline Irish, every week they play, every team they play, it's a close game. You go back to Glenville, you go back to the state semifinal, you go back to the state championship. After that game ends and you guys start your strength and conditioning in the off season, just what was the grind like for you guys in the offseason, you coming into your senior year? I'm sure you had to be a leader not only off the field but on it as well.
You just have to step up in that role, and the young guys start to come in and lift, and you just take the leadership role that you've learned from the past couple of years.
And then going to that role, who were some of the guys from past teams that really taught you how to be a good leader for the Ursuline Irish?
I'm probably going to go with like Brady and DeMarcus. I mean, probably the two biggest leaders that I've played with the whole time there. Both starters from when I got there to.
Yeah, those are pretty good ones. And I'm going to say this as we're here at the Golden Dawn. There's a lot of people that play athletics that will never get the opportunity that Ursuline High School has and has had to play that many games. And I say that because, everybody either is like a Notre Dame or Ohio State. You either love them or you hate them. There's no in between, and that's Ursuline High School. You either want to see them win or you're happy they lost. And what I could tell you and what we all do at YSN, that's respect. When people want to see you lose, that means you're respected. And I know, when I go back to that, and I remember all the social medias and that no matter how you want to look at it, is a sign of respect, and that's a credit to you guys for sure.
And, when I was thinking about what to ask for this interview, I'm glad Steve brought it up because I pondered the thought of asking that for a good 15, 20 minutes. And I was like, you know what? No, I won't. But since you brought it up, I'll take it and run with it. I know Steve and I talked after that state championship game. I was unable to be there. We were texting just talking about how heartbreaking it was and just how upset we were with the way that other people were reacting, because from our standpoint, you should be proud of everyone in the Valley. I mean, the 3-3-0, the Mahoning Valley, everyone joins in once you get to those late season runs. Everyone cheers for everyone. But it seems like when you get to the schools like the Ursulines, the Moonies, people for some reason don't want to act that way. Talk about the brotherhood here at Ursuline. I guess the sisterhood as well. It's a big family at Ursuline High School, as I've learned from Steve.
It's a really big family. Freshman year, we all came in not really knowing anybody at all. And then as we've gone through the years, like, we all hang out all the time. Everywhere we come here after games, and it's a really, really big family is the way to say it.
That's a great answer. And with Marc Manning, senior player profile, wide receiver, DB, this senior class, I have a daughter that's part of it. I know how proud she is to go to Ursuline, how proud she is to support you guys during a football season. I said this when we did game one. A lot of people didn't know a whole lot about Ursuline High School, but I knew it was going to be just some different names, but it was going to be the same style. And that's kind of where we're at. But for you guys as seniors, and I can't wait to do every senior, it's special. I see something special. And yes, DeMarcus and Brady Shannon and that whole senior group, Dean Boyd, those guys laid a print for you guys, no doubt. But I see something different in this group. I do. And one of the things that I told Anthony during the first game we did against Brookfield, I see, and I want to see how you react, I see 5 guys on offense that could probably get the ball every play.
Yeah.
And what I don't see, and I'm a big mannerism guy, what I don't see is somebody drop their head because they're not getting the ball. And that's a credit to this senior group. Talk about what you guys have as a senior group that helps a DC Farrell, that helps guys that are got to practice all week last year for 6 extra weeks, but never played. Now they're in the spotlight with you guys. This senior group, talk about them.
We've been close since the beginning. Our 5-0 line are just, they're crazy. They let us do what we want to do in space, and they give us that opportunity. And if somebody else gets the ball, I mean, I'm going to go get the block so they can score.
Sure.
And I mean, to what Steve was saying, you have so many guys that can touch the ball at any point. And there could be a drive in any game where 5-6 different guys could touch the ball. It's just the way you guys run your offense. I mean, it's the perfect offense that any kid wants to run in these days, the spread it out type of offense, go quick, get the other team off balance. Just how fun is it to be a part of an offense like this where, hey, I could get the ball right here, and then 3 plays later, it could be 3 different guys getting the ball.
It's crazy to be honest, but I mean, that's the offense that we learned and were put into, and it's kind of just really only made for us.
And then I got to ask as well. So you've worn the number 9. That's what you're wearing this year. That's what you wore last year. I believe you wore it your sophomore year as well.
Yes.
Is there any meaning behind the numbers, or just a favorite number for you?
So my dad wore 6 in high school and college. So
Okay.
I kind of just like
Turn it upside down.
Turn it upside down.
Now we're going to turn this year upside down. 1 more week. That's what I hope for. No, but I want to ask you this. You get a lot of exposure. Will gets a lot of exposure. That Lynch kid's a pretty good running back. DC. Them big boys up front. And I want to ask you this because I know Coach Reardon and that staff, they condition the hell out of you guys. Yeah. But what impresses both of us, for them big hogs to play fast and get to the line of scrimmage time after time after time and be conditioned as they are, they get no love. So I'm going to give the 5 of them seniors all the love that they can get, and when I interview them here. But talk about that. You can have as many skill guys as you want, but if you don't have an offensive line that believes in, number one, what you're doing and can play fast and get to the line of scrimmage like they do, most schools don't have that. Talk about it.
I love the the 5 big guys up front.
And we got Branch a touchdown. I'm all in.
Yeah, we
I want to see the other 4.
We got
get
Branch
it.
a touchdown
Yeah.
and Isaac a touchdown.
And Isaac, we got 3 more to get. Now, I don't know if Lugers and those guys are Frasco. I'd love to see Frasco line up in the
Frasco
fullback.
just likes to throw
Okay,
people.
he just likes to throw people down. But that's a gift. That's yes, you're skilled, but that's a conditioning and a mindset that if we don't get where we're supposed to go, those guys can't do what
They have so much talent that everyone overlooks, and it's crazy. Like if you break down the film, like what they're doing, like just nobody notices that at all. Everyone's looking at the fast guys on the edge.
Sure. And you got a lot of fast guys on the edge. There's no doubt about it. Let's talk receivers. Yourself, Will, DC, Landon Charles. I know I'm missing. Again, I said it's just different names and different things, but the names that have been constant for me are Bernie and Manning. Yes, those guys had great years last year and are phenomenal players that are going to do great things in college. But I go back to a lot of games last year where it was Manning and Bernie that made a crossing route, that made a big first down play, that made those big plays that get underlooked. Now you're a senior and all eyes are on you two. And why I commend you on that is because if all eyes are on you two, Christian Lynch is going to run for 260 yards. A DC Farrell does what he does. That has to be important to you. You're a team guy, and I think that's why this senior group will be successful because there's a lot of leaders on it.
So if I'm not getting the ball, somebody's got to get it. And somebody's got to score.
But do you understand how hard that is in today's age to – I admire you for saying that's a hard thing to say. It's a me world mentality. I got to get the ball. If I'm not happy, I'm going to go somewhere else. If I don't see that. I see a team that's pretty focused on getting better every week. And I'll say it to anybody. We have 52 schools at YSN. Nobody plays the schedule that Ursuline High School does. And I'll say it, and I'll continue to say it. Nobody plays the people you play, the Farrells, the Hardings, the Moonies, the St. V's. It's a gauntlet, and I think that's why it all goes back to the respect that you guys sometimes feel you're being talked about and slighted, but it's a respect that people admire you for the people you play.
Yeah.
So looking forward to this week now. Ursuline against Fitch. Steve and I know 2 of the best teams in the area, maybe the 2 best teams in the area. We've talked about this a lot throughout the start of the regular season. You go back to last year as an instant classic between you guys and Fitch. It was at their place. These are 2 of the most loaded rosters in the Valley. Go back to that game last year. What was the feeling like? Because it was back and forth the whole way. And you guys, what was the feeling like when that blocked field goal, when it was blocked and you guys came out victorious?
Right now it's putting chills down my spine. But going back to the game, it's back and forth the whole night. You go up 2 leads and then you're tied. There's no really feeling like it. It's kind of like the game that we had the other night. I mean, probably the most fun games that you ever play, especially with the big crowd. That stadium was sold out.
All right, wait, that wasn't fun. Like, I'm at home on an iPad. That was not fun. And God bless YSN and our announcers that I could watch it. But I was not having fun when they got down to about the 15-yard line. And I'll just leave the officiating at that. We won't go that route. But when you guys know a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a rivalry. Yes, there's talk. Yes, there's T-shirts. Yes, but in the end, it's 2 good football teams that are going to play a game that are going to make 2 football teams better by the end of the year. That's how I look at this game. Talk about them a little bit. Two awesome running backs. I'm not going to discredit either one of those guys. They have a good offensive line. I think this is an evenly matched football team, but I think Ursuline gets a win. How do you deal with relationships of guys do you know? Is there any communication? Is there any talk, or will it be I'll get to them after the game?
So personally, during the week, I don't say anything. I won't say anything probably till the game, after the game. Congratulate the guys after the game, of course, because they're trying to do the same thing that we're doing.
No question.
And just during the week, it's just I keep it silent. I'm not really worried about what they're trying to do or their schemes, but just worry about us and how we play.
I know, and I don't want to say a normal week because that would be injustice to how big of a game this is. But when you play the type of people that you guys play, it's prepared you for big time opponents every week. How has practice been this week?
I want to say probably the most normal practice. of course, like it's a big opponent.
Sure.
Battle Mahoning County, if you want to say that. But practice, we've done the same things. Nothing's really changed. We say the same script every week.
Is that a comfort level for you guys to know that you kind of stay the same pattern?
Our coaches make the plan for the whole week, so nothing's really changed for like maybe I'd say the past 4 years. We keep the same plan every day and just work on the things that we need to work on.
Steve Leslie, YSNLive.com, Anthony Romo, the voice of the Ursuline Irish. He does a great job calling the games at the Golden Dawn every Tuesday night. We'll be here 7 to 8. Hope you can come out and join us. Love talking to these seniors, the cheerleaders. Obviously, Coach Reardon will be in here. I'm sure he's still doing a few things back at school. Atmospheres. I asked the girls about that. Student sections. Your student section's off the hook. And my daughter's right there in the middle of it. Do you hear that?
During timeouts and everything besides during the play, I'll hear it. So
Okay.
it's like
That's
if
a fair answer.
we're walking around looking for a play, I'll hear it.
Right.
After the play, like I won't hear it at all. Like I'll hear somebody call my name, but
Okay.
I won't know what they say.
And I think that you talk about the student section, you talk about the crowd as well, and that is something with you guys playing in so many big games over the past few years. It gets you ready to play in games in front of big crowds. Not a lot of schools get to do that. A lot of schools get these big games, a lot of media coverage around it, and they fold once the game comes because sometimes the spotlight is too bright. Never for the Ursuline Irish, because you guys are playing in big games week in, week out. Obviously it's not normal, like Steve said, but is a game like this kind of just become any other game once you get into it? You just get into your game rhythm and you don't even really hear the crowd at all?
Kind of, yeah. I hear the crowd, but like it's just a loud roar. Like you can't really depict.
We
anything
want to
from
hear
it.
a lot of loud roars. See, we
That's the
can't
goal.
hear anything where
And
we're at.
at YSU, everything just echoes.
But it doesn't echo where we're at. We're in a
You're in
glass
the box.
room, so we can't hear anything. I'm going to say this, and I don't even know if you've seen this. That shout out to Ursuline High School for the promo videos that they put up on the scoreboard for not only football, not only cheerleading, every athletic senior that does that. Again, there's not many schools that get that kind of opportunity. The Golden Dawn. You're a senior. It's been closed. When Daniel played, it was the staple. It's been a staple here. I was never more happy to see the Golden Dawn open and have a daughter that is going to be a senior that can be a part of this. And I know you guys like to go to a game, come up here, just sit down and eat. Mr. Naples does a great job. Do you realize what the Naples family and the Golden Dawn, number one, is, but how much that they bleed green and gold and love Ursuline football?
I didn't until this year because I've never been in
Sure.
here.
No,
Besides,
that's
besides
a fair
this
answer.
year.
That's why I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you.
I mean, you look on the walls, it's nothing but Irish stuff from the state championship.
when you look on the walls, does that inspire you
I
when you
mean,
walked in here?
you want to put one more up,
Sure.
another picture,
And we could put one more up, no doubt about it, but it's got to be 1 week at a time. That's what I'm pressed with you guys about.
You took the question right out of my mouth. I was going to say, just looking at these walls, I've never been in here. This is my first time being in here. I'm from Hubbard. I didn't really get into the Ursuline culture before this year. And there's so much culture and tradition. When you're a freshman walking into those Ursuline doors for the first day, is it a culture that you kind of adapt right away? Like you feel it right when you walk through those doors?
I mean, it takes time. I mean, adjusting to a bigger building and all that, it takes a lot of time. But I mean, they have so many programs like in summer where you meet a bunch of people and like start your friend groups and you build with those people.
So it's basically a year-round thing
It's
here
a
at
family
Ursuline.
thing. Yeah, it's a year.
Once you get to the summer, for a lot of schools,
it's not over. It's never over at Ursuline. It's a great number one. It's a great school. It's a great education. Number one, my son graduated. Grace will be graduating. I went to Cardinal Mooney, and Catholic education is a great thing. Rapid fire with Marc Manning.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Let me adjust the headphones.
All right. Adjust your headphones.
Let's go.
There's no wrong answers. All right. First one I'm going to give to you is you have some goofballs in that senior student section. Marc Manning, shout out to some of your goofballs that lead that section on game night.
First one, I'm going to go Drew Kurilla. It's one of my best friends.
Yeah, I see Drew Kurilla with the hat on and the hands waving. Okay, that's a good answer.
I'm going to go Nick Bako. Another one of my good friends.
Okay.
Griffin Barton.
Griffin Barton. All right, shout out to you three. You better be loud and proud Friday night for these guys on the football field. Water or Gatorade?
So on game days, I'm not allowed to drink Gatorade because there's too much sugar in it. So I'll go with water.
Yeah, you're hyper enough where you don't need any more sugar.
I need the water.
Anthony, don't you think water's
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing
being a
wrong
little
with
more
water.
hyped up?
You need to be hydrated.
But he'd have to leave school at like 1 o'clock. He'd be ready to play.
That's true. You are all over the field. One of the guys that plays both ways on this team, and I think that's what will help this team out as the season goes on. They don't have too many guys that play both ways, especially on the line.
How hard
but you
is
skill
that,
guys
playing both ways?
I've been doing it since
you walked in.
Yeah,
so you're used to
I'm
it.
used
Will's
to
the
it.
same way he's
Yeah.
used to it. You got one?
I got one.
All right.
So warming up or going over to
You're
Stamball.
stealing all
What are
my
you
thunder,
listening
man.
to? What's
my
What's-
go-to song.
what's being bumped in the car?
I'm gonna go. So it's an inappropriate song that probably shouldn't be listening to, but it's called "Killa" by Young Pappy.
Killa by
There's
Young
nothing wrong
Pappy.
with that.
I'm going to tune into that on my way home.
I've watched.
Killa. I don't know if the Jen's car will get Killa by White. What's his name again?
Young
Yeah.
Pappy.
Young Pappy. I'm going to have to check with Grace on Young Pappy. All right, here we go. When I say Dan Reardon, what's the first word that comes to your mind?
Role model. He's a great guy. Obviously, I played with his son when he was at Ursuline,
Sure.
and then he has this younger kids that come in and like he just shows them how to act and is a real big role model to everyone.
I think you said that, but Dan Reardon's a family guy, number one.
Yeah.
And
Speak
that's
of the devil. Come
speak
through
of
the
the
doors.
devil as he comes in. Family number one. Always has his family there. Coach, they're giving great answers too, by the way. I got to give you. That's a great answer. Let's go. Favorite college football team.
Ohio State.
Okay.
Started off the year well.
Yeah. They
You know, you like that game, yeah.
I like Ohio State, but I love Notre Dame. But I think Notre Dame's getting there. But Ohio State's really good. Like C.J. Stroud, that pass. Oh, well, you were still playing. I was on pins and needles on my iPad while you guys were letting guys drive down the field, and I was yelling holding at the screen every time on some of those Farrell guys. We'll get with Coach Reardon on that. Favorite pro team?
I like the Steelers.
Oh, God. The Steelers.
Yeah. Hey, I'm
Mitch
an hour from
Trubisky.
both.
What do you think on Mitch Trubisky?
It's a Northeast Ohio guy.
Yeah.
I
From this area.
Here's one for you. One of the better coaches in college football, Urson got Coach Narduzzi.
I met him actually over the summer.
Yeah,
He's a great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Still bleeds green and gold for Urson.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Go ahead, Ant.
Favorite professional player? Who's the guy that when you play you try to be like in certain ways?
I can't say I ever want to be like another guy because I always
Okay,
want to be
that's
myself.
That's fair.
But a guy I would say like I've watched the most in like how they run things is probably like Cooper Kupp. He's a quick, shifty
Love
guy
it.
that plays slot.
Cooper Kupp won me a lot of cash in fantasy football lately. I like that answer. Role models. Everybody has a role model. Everybody has. I told you that. I'm 55 and I'm still a mama's boy. When Marc Manning's down and out, and I don't think there's too many times, Irish Nation, that this guy's down and out because the motor runs 24/7. When that happens, who's your go-to?
She's kind of staring right at me, and I know I'm gonna get something from this later, but it's probably my mom. She'll always be there for me, no matter what the situation is, and she'll kind of just be my right hand man.
That's a good right-hand man. I hope that you understand all she does, and she coaches volleyball too, right?
Yeah.
Gives up her time to do volleyball, coach athletes, but not miss anything you do.
No, she's always there.
How special is that?
It's a great feeling knowing that you have those people
Sure.
behind your back at all times.
Well, you got a lot of people. All you guys have a lot of people at Ursuline that are proud of what you do. Last one, and I thought the girls answered it the best. I mean, how does Marc Manning want this senior season to go? I know the answer. Win a state. That's
everyone's
an eternity away.
Yeah.
I just want to see you guys, and I talked with the girls about this, be a senior, have fun, be with your teammates, represent Youngstown, represent Ursuline, but how do you want it to go?
Well, obviously, we want the ring at the end.
Sure.
But for everyone to come close together and realize what we have is special before we all leave.
And then I think that's athletics in a whole, don't you, Anthony? If you
for
cannot appreciate what you do every day at a
That's life.
school there's I said it with the girls, this is a crazy world we live in.
Yeah.
And the Campfield fairs and the fights and the trouble. When Anthony, I didn't have those things. I didn't have a cell phone. I got a whistle from my parents. It was time to come in when it was dark out. I can't even, and he's young, so he went through that. From my standpoint, I couldn't imagine living in the world that you guys live in, and it's a credit to you. There's trouble out there, but I think you kids do a great job of representing your school, representing your community, your football team. So our advice, keep doing what you do. We'll be there Friday night at Austintown Fitch when they come to town. We'll have it for you on YSN. Anthony Romo, Steve Leslie, Marc Manning, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.